So I want to take that one step further with you, because the dog park thing is a silly one where I knew that I reacted inappropriately. But there's other things in my life where I'll be upset with people or situations. And what I try to do with those is I try to pray for the people. If it recurs to me, if it's a thing that I wake up angry about or something, I will try to pray for those people.
So can we give you...
Forgive them.
Can we give you just a little piece about prayer?
Please.
When your prayer comes from appreciation, you're right there ready to receive whatever it is you're praying about. But when your prayer comes from lacking something, then what you're asking for can't come in. So when you're asking for a resolution, this needs to be different so that I can feel better. Now you've activated what it is that doesn't feel good, and it's in the way of the answer that you're looking for. Where when you offer a prayer of appreciation,
appreciating that thing that
you can be as general or as specific as you're able to be. Appreciation of life, appreciation of dog parks, appreciation of people who know they've got a crazy dog that hasn't learned to socialize with other dogs yet, but wants to take it for a walk, and so keeps it. Where there are others that have come to believe that their dogs have figured it out, only to meet up with you to discover that their dogs haven't figured it out, which means maybe a leash would be a good idea for a little while. Let's go back to the dogs themselves, because they're easier to analyze because they're pure. They don't have as many ulterior motives. They don't even know that there are leash laws.
Smaller bags of marbles.
They're not fighting against the leash laws. They're just happy to be out there. But they're also in tune with their human friend. And so when they sense trouble in the force,
they're also very in the now. They're just now. They're not worried about last week or
they don't forgive anybody.
Month from now.
They don't forgive anybody ever because they don't condemn to begin with. Forgiveness is getting over pushing against something. Well, if you don't push against something, then you don't have to get over pushing against something. Did we get there for you? Is there more?
I like the idea of praying from a place of appreciation. And I'll try that tomorrow morning. I'll try appreciating the things that I pray for.
Let's take this a little further. So when you're praying, who are you talking to?
I'm Catholic. And
it's all right.
And I use Catholic prayers. I'm not apologizing for it. I'm saying I'm Catholic.
No.
And
so you're praying to a higher power.
I am praying to, God as I understand him.
So when you tell us that you're praying to a higher power, those were our words, not yours, we take that to mean you acknowledge that you are more than you are in this physical body, and that there's another part of you that has, however you want to categorize it, it's someone or something that knows how it works, that is based on love, who does want well-being for all.
Yes.
Oh. Well, that's the best description of the non-physical that we've ever offered or heard. So when you pray or focus there, wanting to feel that feeling of well-being, not just for you and yours, but for all. If that could really catch on, where people were really understanding their value and nobody felt deprived or less than, so nobody was trying to prove anything, so nobody was needing to bully anybody, and nobody needed to kill hundreds of thousands of people in order to push so hard against what is not wanted that they think that they can obliterate the problem when it doesn't obliterate it, it just makes more. Wouldn't it be a wonderful thing? Isn't it a wonderful thing that source energy exists as that culmination of all that you have asked for, all the good that you have sifted from life experience, you have put there. And when you reemerge into non-physical, you are that. And it is that is dancing in Esther's gardens. It's that is in the shower giving you the impulse to make your headache feel better. It's that gives you the ideas. It's that calling for love and well-being that anyone who resists it feels terrible. This calling is so strong That when you give in, for those who say that doesn't exist, it's every man for himself, and the biggest, strongest one wins, and we say, you have the option to live that way, but how's it working out? How's it working out? How big and bad does it have to get? Well, you all said, we're just going to let you know, because here you are, and you kind of want to know this. So you all knew when you decided to be here in this time and space, in this time, you knew there would be a lot of catalyst for a lot of desire and expansion. And you knew that it's only when there's strong wanting that beliefs begin to shift. Path of least resistance just shifts when there's strong wanting. Jerry tells the story of his mother. 3 little kids, father's in the Navy, lost at sea, not really lost, just away. Papers are lost, no money's coming, everybody's hungry. She was a rule keeper. She held her kids to standards of right and wrong. She believed in doing right. But Jerry saw her cut a hole in the neighbor's fence and milk their cow. Because feeding her babies was a higher priority than keeping that rule. Now, what's right and wrong here? Well, it's easy to say it's wrong to cut the fence, but wasn't it right to feed her babies? And that's what we're saying. As humans, you're faced with these kinds of choices all the time. And instead of making it about a right and a wrong thing, if you make it about a path of most allowance thing, then you will come to realize that your inner being is guiding you to things never against anyone, but always for you. In other words, your inner being would never choose something for you that would harm another. But your inner being will guide you to things that are important to you in the moment. And wouldn't it just be nice if everybody could know that? That you're being guided? Humans think that there's this finite pie. There's this much well-being, and we're dividing it all up. And if you get a big piece, then somebody gets a smaller piece. Or maybe somebody gets no piece at all. Therefore, it's wrong for you to want and receive more. Instead of understanding that this pie is expanding, it expands with desire. Every time someone feels lack of something or loss of something, they ask for it. And every time you ask, it is given. Every time someone asks, the stream of abundance expands to supply that. If this time-space reality has the wherewithal to inspire within you a desire for something, this time-space reality has the wherewithal to deliver the goods to you. But you've got to be in a deliverable of the goods state of mind, state of vibration. You can't keep proclaiming the lack of something and let in the solution. It just doesn't go together. And so what it all boils down to, it can feel very complicated, but it isn't. If you care about feeling good and you do your best to feel good and you practice feeling good and you get pretty good at feeling good and something happens and you don't feel so good, well, it's all right. Something happened and you don't feel so good, and almost anybody wouldn't feel so good under those conditions. But it's not who you are and it's not how you want to be, so you don't hang around in that. You don't talk about it. You don't form a club about it. You don't get a bunch of people online about it. You don't make a big deal about it. You don't even talk about it over dinner to others. You just had the experience, you didn't like it, and you begin right away calibrating to your inner being. So it passes quickly. It doesn't become bigger and bigger and bigger because you flicked the spark off before it burned a hole in your sweater. It's like that. And the better you get at this, the more you will start noticing that everywhere you go, there's something wonderful happening, and it begins to occur to you, this doesn't happen to everybody like this, not in this stream, not in this sequence, not in this abundance. In other words, this is something that I've got going on. I got well-being going on, and that's who you are. You've had that for a long, long time. That's why it makes you so angry when it goes the other way.
So is it the appreciation, the gratitude that helps you flick that spark off before it ignites? Is that it?
It's that in appreciation, you are in complete alignment with that source energy. And source energy knew the spark was coming before it ever even got on your sweater. So you weren't sitting there when the spark flew. Or if you were, you knew what to do about it right away. What we're talking about is enlightenment. What we're talking about is being in sync with the resources to live happily ever after. Friends, you don't want to be guarded and have to avoid dog parks. And you don't want to only go to dog parks where everybody's on a leash either. You want to roam the world like your dogs want to roam the world, and you want to know that you'll be called to the things that are advantageous to you and to others. And you want to embrace the diversity because that's what makes it all go round. And you want to reach that place where you don't have long lists of things that you're pushing against, maybe short ones because life is like that, but where you are dominantly feeling good. Sometimes people say, Abraham, what do you think about tithing? And we say, when you feel abundance so much that you have extra that you want to give, then think about what your point of attraction is. But if you are tithing out of responsibility or out of guilt, then you could give it all away and not be of any benefit to you because you're doing it begrudgingly or because it's been assigned to you. In other words, how you feel is how you feel, and how you feel is what you get. And there's no bad ending. There just isn't, unless you want to call death bad, and it's so good. Imagine reemerging into non-physical in one fell swoop and leaving behind all doubt and fear, all that anger gone. What's there is just everything that you lived and asked for, and you stand there in absolute knowing of it. And then you're looking at all the others who are still physically focused, and you're just so proud of them and so happy for them that they still get to play that game and figure that out. We don't think you should have to croak to figure it out. We've enjoyed this interaction. More than any that has been before. It's delightful to play with you, and we are eager about what's coming next for you. Have fun with it and connect the dots. There's great love here for you. And for now, we are complete.